Welcome to another episode of Talkin' Shop. I've got my good friend Joe Kolb here. He's in town. You might remember that Joe was the very first guest on the Talkin' Shop series. So naturally we had to do another one.
Yeah.
So, and we also have Silas here. So we'll see how this goes. We've got some keys. We've got a couple books. We've got a sloth to keep him entertained. Hopefully he lets us get through this 5-minute video. And then we'll move on to more business. So we had a good breakfast this morning. Came back to the office, did a little bit of work. But now want to get an update with your firm, because since you were here last year, a lot of changes have gone on for the positive. So why don't you give everybody an update on what's going on your end out in Rhode Island?
Gotcha. So a little bit change in that. Really, what started was me meeting my future wife and now getting married. And
that's a big change.
That is a big change, yes. And she lives in a tiny little town on the seaport in Rhode Island called Wickford.
Okay.
And I'd always been in the downtown Providence, so I always just had the firm Kolb Wealth. And you know, once I got married and moved to Wickford, I loved the idea of being in Wickford and being all things Wickford. And so rebranded Wickford Wealth Management, which rolls off your tongue, much nicer than Kolb Wealth Management.
I'll tell you what's hard to say, RLS Wealth Management. Try to say that fast, that's hard.
I won't. But, you know, so it's changed my life. I've actually moved down to right in Wickford, the office. I sit on the deck at the end of, or right next to the ocean. I walk 500 yards from home, 100 yards to the wife's house. So, yeah, I think I've improved my lifestyle immensely. And
the rebrand went real smooth. I got to see all the iterations of the bridge.
I don't know if any rebrand goes really smooth.
I thought it went good.
No, I think it's been really good. It's been great. And the reception's been good. I get a lot of people in traffic walking by. So, yeah, it's a huge plus. Well, and just for the record, the third one of these will be in Rhode Island, I think.
I hope so. I'd like to go out there.
But
it may not be till next summer. I'm not trying to
fine,
come out
whenever.
It's
all good. Yeah, don't come out to Rhode Island when it's cold. It's not. Nobody wants to be there.
From afar, I've been able to watch the transition of the rebrand, the move, changing offices, and as a friend and another advisor in the profession, I think it's gone smooth. I'm so happy for you. Obviously, Carrie, shout out to Carrie because I know she's going to watch this. Yep. It's been a huge improvement in your life. So I'm happy that you're back here. I'm happy things are going so positive for you. As always, I will link to all of your stuff in the show notes. So if you're watching this, you happen to like Joe, you'll be able to find him and hit him up. But what I wanted to cover today in the video was Josh Brown and Michael Batnick last week did a video about books that impacted their careers. And we both happen to know those guys. I'm fortunate to have had conversations with them and get to know them. I thought that was a great topic, and I wanted to get your take on what a book was that changed your career, and I had one for mine. But I did want to shout out the book that Josh mentioned, Nick Murray's Simple Wealth, Inevitable Wealth. Had he not mentioned that would have been the book that I mentioned.
Yep.
I remember seeing Nick Murray speak when I was at the 403B company. That was one of the good things from the 403B company. They had real good speakers at the conferences, and hearing him speak and then getting the book afterwards. So it's a very good book. I've given away numerous copies of it to clients and advisors. So I just want to echo the recommendation of Nick Murray's Simple Wealth, Inevitable Wealth. Yeah. I'll tell my book later, but what was the one book that changed your career?
So first off, I think this book from Nick Murray should be a default in every advisor's library. So that's a given.
I need to get the update. I've got the 5th edition, so there's a new one
I need to update. I remember, early 2000s wandering around running my other business and always thinking I wanted to be a planner. And I came across a book by Nancy Langdon Jones, and it's literally titled "So You Want to Be a Financial Planner."
So give us some time frame to when that was. When was
2002, 2001, 2002. And the internet's not like it is today. There's not a million resources. There's no XY planning network that provides a roadmap of how to do this. I went on like one interview and someone was like, "Yeah, give me the list of all your family and friends and everything." And so this book was kind of a saving grace, and then it said, this is what you want to do, this is the education you need, these are the options for you, this is how to do it right, and then how to set up shop. And then eventually you get to the point where it says, this is how to live your life and to make the most of it. Don't be the type A guy running full speed through walls. You can actually enjoy your life doing it. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, it's held true. I mean, I might have deviated certain parts along the way, but that book has held true and it's been fantastic.
I think that's smart. I think, interrupt you real quick. I think that's smart. I think any book is meant to be a blueprint and framework. So I don't think anybody should ever buy a book and follow it to a T, but you take that as the framework and then you make those changes that apply to what makes sense for you and your vision and your firm. So you don't have to create everything, but use that as the foundation. So I think what you did makes total sense.
Well, it's interesting. It's so many books you read, and you go, all right, some of that applies, some of that doesn't apply. This was just really so spot on, and it was Yeah, no, it made a difference in my life, so I like it. It worked for me. I think it's probably in its 6th or 7th edition,
Okay.
so worth checking out. I mean, if you're a new advisor or someone that wants to be, check it out.
So I'll link to that. And as this is going on, we see Silas kind of getting antsy. I think of our friend Nino Neal and The Juggle is Real. Like,
Yes,
this is The Juggle Real. So hashtag The Juggle is Real Nina with this. So my book is Mitch Anthony.
Yep.
Another person I was fortunate to hear speak at the conferences when I was at the 403B company. And he has a book called Story Selling for Financial Advisors.
Yep.
And for me, that was instrumental, not from the standpoint that I actually try to always use stories when I communicate with clients. But for me, what I took away from that book was to try to get away from all of the industry language that sometimes advisors like to use to make it seem like we're smart and we talk over people, and develop the skills to be able to communicate complex topics so that everybody can understand it. So, I mean, sometimes analogies make sense or telling stories make sense to tell the story, but for me, that book was impactful because it basically made me throw out all the training that I got from how to sell to how to communicate. And what do you think about that? What do you think about that, huh? We'll let you get down. So that's the book that I really like. And honestly, I think I read it once, and I have not read it since, but it's that one read was so impactful.
That's good.
And I think for somebody, I think for everybody, that's a good skill to have, is to be able to communicate. That's one of the great things about this form of content, video and writing, is now we have the ability to communicate with our clients a lot. But even going back to in-person meetings and delivering a plan and delivering recommendations, being able to tell it in a way that people are going to understand it, and also to a way that's going to speak to them and motivate them to implement, is important. And I thought Story Selling for Financial Advisors by Mitch Anthony did a great job along those lines. And I think it's interesting, one comment before I let you go. I'm dominating this part.
No, you're fine.
I think it's interesting that the books that you and I, and the book that Josh, I can't remember what Mike put out, all of them are books about advisors and planning, not about investments. And so much of the focus in conversations with other advisors and with our profession has always been investment focused, yet 3 books from people that I think are doing a good job all speak to the non-investment side of things, but more to the planning and the relationship type stuff. So just an interesting observation.
Yeah, I think it is about the relationships, and the investments is just one small part of it.
Right.
It's interesting. You're right about Mitch Anthony. It is storytelling. It's sharing, histories, past experiences that you have. I also think that the longer you do this job, you also get a bank of stories and things that you've had or experiences that you can share. And I find that's the best part. There's always something in your history or background that you can relate to a client, which is nice. So I'm probably guilty of using too many of those and focusing so little on investments sometimes. But
well, as we're seeing and learning, the evidence suggests the investments are important, but not the most important thing. It's the other things: the behavior, the plan, the strategy. And investments, if you have a good diversified portfolio, for the most part, will take care of themselves.
Exactly.
Well, brought Silas back for the ending. Silas, what's your book? So you brought your book. So we've got the 100% unofficial A, B to Jay-Z with Silas's contribution to today's thing. So that has nothing to do with planning. He started to lose his cool. So before we have a meltdown, we're going to end this talking shop. So I'll have links to both those books in the bio. I'll even put Silas's A, B to the Jay-Z if I can find that link. I think we bought that directly from the publisher. So thanks for watching, Joe. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
After we get rid of this guy for a little while, we can do another video.
There you go.
But 2 great books. I'll also have the Nick Murray one there as well because I think it's so good. So thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with this guy's little attitude here for a little bit. Silas, can you say bye-bye? Wave. All right, we'll see you in the next episode.